So, first purpose is, the dial tone would just be playing in my ears. So I had to like quickly dial another number, and then I'd put it to my ear and I'd make a phone call. And then, they would answer or not answer. I'd press hang up, and then I'd make another phone call because I had this phone in my hands, right? So there was no choice but to keep dialing, or else you had a dial tone in your head all the time. We used to make an example that you should duct tape the phone to your head. Like if you had the phone to your head the whole time and there was a dial tone ringing in your ear, you were more motivated to make more phone calls, right? And so it's like we used to like try to have like red ear. It was the whole goal was to have red ear, because if you had red ear like this, you're on the phone, right? You ever seen the Shaquille O'Neal Taco Bell commercial? You get you get a crook in your neck because you're eating so many tacos. Today's Taco Tuesday, right? And that was like part of the analogy. Or having a red ear. Like if you could have a red ear because your phone was like this against your shoulder the whole time and you got arthritis from having your ear against your shoulder, that was a good sign that you were phoning, right? So either red ear or ear sweat. If you had ear sweat because the phone was against your ear for that long, you were crushing it, right? And, when I think about the purpose of Champs Club, it's evolved because of Zoom and because of the virtual nature of our business. And even years ago, we had conference calls. We could run conference calls. And, the workshop is important, right? But the hour preceding this workshop is way more beneficial, profitable, way more valuable than whatever you learn in a workshop, right? They say knowledge is power, and we're always going to teach you knowledge of how to sell more at Cutco, but knowledge put to use is power. Knowledge put to use is power. So knowledge put to use from Champs Club. So if you come to Champs Club and you don't book demos, you learn something and then you hang up and you go live your life, do your day, whatever it is. And if you don't make those phone calls before Champs Club or after Champs Club, then you're not really learning, right? It's like going to driver's ed, but then never getting behind the wheel of a car. It's like getting a hunting tag for a deer or an elk and then never going hunting. It's like, why did you do it? Right? At least even if you don't get an animal, at least you go hunting, right? At least you have to do that, right? So the fact is, like, you want to learn stuff, but you want to use those things that you learn in Champs Club. You want to learn it and then use it immediately on demos today, right? Demos today really do matter. On that note, I would just want to do a little recognition here. For the push period, we're doing pretty well. Here's what I'll tell you for the push period right now. Some of you know this, some of you don't. So I'm just going to share it again. Over 1,000. We got Emma's over 1,000. Parker's over 1,200. Ash is over 1,200. Anna's at 1,300, almost 1,400. Will 1,400 basically. Kinsey's at 2,100. Montana's at 2,500. Lacey's at 2,800. Jaden 2,900. Caitlin's at 3,800. Sarah's at 4,300 with 13 orders, by the way, for the week. 2 orders a day, roughly. Amber's at 4,500. 10 orders basically. Faith has 10 orders with 4,500. Noah's at 4,900, basically $5,000. He's at 4,992 with 15 orders. And then Isabel's number 1 in the division right now with $6,500 in sales for the push period for last 7 days. Today is day 1 of week 2 of the push. Day 1, week 2. And 10 demos ahead of us. 10 days ahead of us, which is exciting. And you should all feel like there's a lot of time, but at the same time, you need to have a sense of urgency. So let me just really quickly, again, I was talking to Parker this morning, and what I love about Parker is he's always communicating. He's always calling between demos. He's always communicating how he feels, how he needs energy, what he needs help on. We're openly conversating very, very, very often. And I'll tell you, my manager at one point, not very many times, but at one point in my career, I had sold like 150 grand. Okay. So this is I'd sold a lot of Cutco. And my manager gave me a compliment. He said, man, I could put you on Mars and you'd sell Cutco. And it felt cool to get that compliment. There was 2 problems with it. 3. Number 1, there's no humans on Mars that we know of, right? There might be Martians, but there's no humans. Okay. So there's no one to sell Cutco on. I saw a funny meme yesterday of they found doors on Mars. And then the very next picture, there was two, missionaries. So anyway, I think that's kind of funny. Anyway, so number one problem, he's like, you could sell Cutco on Mars. And number one, there's no humans. Number two, I didn't feel like I could because I was often discouraged in the job. I was not discouraged in the job. It was discouraged because I wasn't hitting my goal. Like anytime you have a goal that's stretching you, don't you feel like you're behind your goal often? Raise your hand if you feel like you're behind your goal. Whenever you have a goal that's stretching you, you automatically feel behind your goal because otherwise it wouldn't be stretching you, right? So if you feel behind in your goals, that's great. That's normal. That's motivating. It's designed. It's like human and, divine, design that you feel behind your goals because your goals are, again, designed to stretch you. Okay. And so I never felt like I could sell Cutco on Mars. And I forget the third thing I was going to say in relation to the problem with what he said, but here's the problem for most of you. That's the third problem I was going to say. And that is none of you are at 150 grand in sales. So you can't sell Cutco on Mars. Sorry. You can sell Cutco on Earth, and you have a manager on Earth, and they're there to help you 100%. And the fact is, you can call a lot more people on Earth than you can in Mars. Okay, I know I'm being kind of silly here, but I'm telling you, if you're not making phone calls, then you're not doing your job, right? And I mean that in a very serious way. I'm not being apologetic about that. When I look at the Phone Jam report, if you will, the Phone Jam report is not showing me that some of you made enough calls in the last hour to really warrant spending the hour. Now, some of you were busy. I know a couple of you just barely jumped on, and I know that you were in a class, on a train, something like that. But I want to recognize Callan made 10 phone calls during that Phone Jam. Melise made 12 phone calls during that Phone Jam, booked a demo. Brinley made the most calls. Surprise, she booked the most demos, 2 demos booked. Parker made a few calls. Isabel made 11 calls. Gavin made 12 calls. And that's a start, but I'm going to challenge you to really, really be like better. And it's not like you're doing a bad job. I'm saying better would be hitting 20 calls per hour. Unless you set up 4 demos in an hour, I guarantee you, if you had the mentality that I just told you about, where the phone was stuck to your ear, you duct taped it to your head, or you got sweaty ear, or there's a dial tone in your ear. There's no dial tone on cell phones, which is, too bad because you probably make more phone calls if you had a dial tone ringing in your ear the whole time, right? You would make more calls like I used to make more calls. But Champs Club used to be phone calls only. It was not, let's have a workshop on Zoom. It was not, let's stream a video that someone else recorded in Minneapolis 2 days ago. We got wind of it. We got a copy of it. We put it on the streaming video. You guys don't even have to know where to find stuff because we'll find stuff for you to learn. And technology and all that cool stuff is great. But Champs Club literally was just about, if you book more demos, you're going to sell more Cutco. All you want to do, number one thing you can all do, is the 4 things that we've been telling you about for weeks. The 4 things that it takes to sell a lot of Cutco. I'm going to put it on the screen. Okay. The 4 things that it takes to sell a lot of Cutco, right? Number 1 is you need to make yourself a really good schedule, and you need to follow that schedule, right? And then the number 2 thing you can do is you just need to keep acquiring names. Keep adding names to the people that you can call. Add more names to your practice list. Ask for help from your manager, but also ask for help from your church leader, your mom, your aunt, your grandma, your sister, your brother. Remember, your sister and brother, they each have 5 to 10 to 20 names in their phone. People that Caitlin, that are in their phone, but they're not in your phone. Right? You could ask a 12-year-old for referrals. I think you guys know that, but you could have your little sister, little brother, some neighbor kid that they could give you some referrals, and then that would give you more people to call, right? So names is number 2. Number 3 is you have to be phoning, and you have to be phoning. Like I said yesterday, if you don't have double digits set in front of you, like right now, Jacob, if you don't have double digit demos set in front of you, Callan, so like if you don't have 3 or 4 today, 3 or 4 tomorrow, 2 for Thursday, if you don't have 5 for today, 5 for tomorrow, or 7 or 8 for today and 3 or 4 for tomorrow. If you don't have double digit demos set in front of you, then you're just not pushing. And that's not an insult. That's literally just, it is what it is, right? You're not really in this game to push, or you haven't started pushing yet. So we have people that just came back from Vegas yesterday, came back from Portage, Utah. We have people that came home from a bunch of different places, and they're just getting their push period started. And if they don't have 10 demos in front of them, they don't have a push period going on. They're not pushing yet. And so my challenge, like it was yesterday, is you got to be phoning to go for double digit demos set in front of you. By the way, if you can't push because you have school, because you have family, because you have other things going on, that's okay too. Although some people that have school are 100% pushing. I mean, Parker's the number 3 rep in the office this week in number of orders obtained. He got the most orders by, I think, number 2 or number 3 or 4 in the office. And so he's pushing, and his average order was his lowest of his entire career. But, you know, that's the thing that I'm going to jump into now, because once you have the schedule, once you have the names and you have phone and you're getting the demos, here's the challenge for you. That is to get orders. And so for the next 16 minutes, I want to talk about getting orders, because sometimes one way to get orders is to do what Isabel did. She sold an ultimate. She sold a fat, I don't know if it was a signature or a big old upgrade. And then she sold a homemaker, or it was 2 homemakers. I don't even know. But she sold an ultimate and 2 homemakers or something like that.
It was an ultimate, a Siggy, and 2 homemakers.
Yeah. 6 orders for $6,500. How many of you are pissed off and annoyed and wishing you had that sales report? Like a little bit, right? And
you have to understand though, yeah. I had 3 0 days as well.
Yeah, she did. She had 3 0 days, and then she had an ultimate, 2 homemakers, and a signature set. Parker's a little mad. Okay, he's like, I got way more orders, and I'm mad. I know he's fired up. He's excited, but he's at BYU, so he can't be mad. You never, no one's ever mad at BYU. Okay, that's impossible. Okay, it's like in the bubble. There's no anger. Okay, so so anyway, the point that I'm making now is sometimes you can and you do swing from the fences. You land an ultimate, you land a signature, huge orders, cookware, I don't know, Cutco kitchens, homemakers, big fat upgrades, and you're just feeling great, right? Those are fun freaking orders. But I just want to remind you that that's not how you sell a huge amount of Cutco. Selling a huge amount of Cutco is just by getting a lot of orders. You can't have a bag week when you're writing up orders. How many of you feel encouraged just writing up a sale for $100, $200, $300? Now, that's nothing really to like, you're not going to buy a house on top of a mountain. You're not going to be a millionaire for writing up a bunch of $100, $200 orders, but it feels good to get orders. And I want to reinvigorate all of you with the feeling of success when you help your customers get some Cutco. And whether it's 200 or 500 or 5,000, your job is to get orders. I want you all to go, I want you to go 8 for 10, right? 8 for 10 because you wrote up orders, right? I think Parker might have been 8 for 12 or 13, right? Or something like that. I think it was more than that. Okay. Okay, try refreshing the browser. Okay, sorry guys. So anyway, so my exhortation to you all is to work on helping customers get Cutco. All right. And so with that in mind, I feel like it's worth it for us to take a few minutes and think about how do we build the like list and how do we sell some orders? Okay. So I'm going to go here. I think this is the right interweb. Yes. Okay. So let's open up myvectordemo.com. Okay. So anyway, so we've got, our manual. And I just want to remind you with Cutco owners, a couple of quick tips. Still do the virtual, full presentation up to where we get to showing the entertainer pack. So if you're taking notes, remember, you always want to show the same 11-minute video. Even remember, we have 19 million customers. This video wasn't created for COVID, but the last 2 years, it's been the primary method of doing the demo with the video, the 11-minute video, and then doing these little 40-second, 50-second videos for the paring knife and the cheese and the different knives, right? So you still want to do that, and you want to build value and rebuild the value in the pieces they have. So let me remind you also, if you click on Cutco owners, side note, but I'm jumping over there, it says have them take out every piece of Cutco they own. I'm going to encourage you to remember to have them take out every piece of Cutco you own and have them send you a picture of what they have. I had a couple of you yesterday, or someone yesterday, say they forgot to have the customer send a picture. And they started selling the customer a bunch of knives that the customer already had. And it's not that you shouldn't do that, because you want to resell them on those knives. But if you know they have it, you're not going to like try to sell it. You're just going to try and customer service them. Can I remind you, customer service helps you sell. There's a great YouTube called Service is Selling, and Selling is Service. And maybe if you guys behave, I'll show that to you at the team meeting or something, because it's an amazing video and it warms your heart. Service is selling and selling is service. But if you sell them on the knives they already have in a good way, they're loving you because you're a customer service agent. And they trust you more when you sell them on the knives they have, but not with the intent to sell it to them, but rather to sell them on the piece they already have so they know how to use it better. Okay. I can't show it now. Isabel wants me to show it. Maybe I'll show it. Maybe I'll show it in 11 minutes. Okay. If you want to bring it up, Isabel, you can bring it up. Service is selling, selling is service.
I just look for that.
Okay. Yeah. Just look for selling is service. Okay. It's a great video. Now you're all going to stay on Champs Club an extra 2 minutes, but, all right. So, you get a picture of everything they own, right? And then remember back to the normal, the website. So you're going to build, right? You're going to build the value in the product with the video, right? You're going to build the value in the product. By the way, with referrals, I just want to remind you, when they have Cutco, you better just straight up tell them, I want you to tell me everyone you know that owns Cutco. You have to refer me to everyone you know that already owns Cutco. Write that down. You have to refer me to everyone you know that already owns Cutco. It's required. That is not even asking for a referral. You just say, Ms. Jones, I have incomplete records, and I guarantee you all have incomplete records because you have no records of everyone who owns Cutco in the area. But you say, Ms. Jones, I have incomplete records of everyone who owns Cutco in the area. But part of my assignment is to see people that already own Cutco so I can help them get their knives serviced. Whether you're the one sharpening them because you're over 10 grand, 15 grand, and we teach you how to sharpen your own customers' knives, or you haven't been trained on that and you help them send their knives into the factory, but you get referrals from Cutco owners for everyone that they know that already owns Cutco. It's easy, so easy to sell Cutco to people that already own Cutco. But anyway, moving right along, you go through all these little videos. If they don't want to watch 1 or 2 of them, it's not the end of the world, but I just got to get you down here to after storage units, after storage, the blocks and the trays. Then you do the 4 little videos of the cheese knife and the peeler and all that. And I want to remind you, you don't go to the summary right after the cheese knife. My belief in most cases, and they already own Cutco, is you want to immediately go to the Cutco owners tab. I'm sorry, you want to go to gifts and accessories. And you want to show the gifts and accessories. So you have them skip the homemaker. If you're going to try and sell them a homemaker, then yeah, you don't go to accessories. You just try to sell the homemaker. Let's say they have 2 knives, trim or paring knife, just sell them a homemaker and they'll have doubles, right? If they have 7, 8 knives and they're not going to buy a homemaker, you don't try to sell the homemaker. You go straight to the 3rd slideshow. Everyone with me on that? You got to go straight to the 3rd slideshow, and you got to take the time. And you don't want to take too much time, but you take the time to show accessories. Take the time to show accessories. Get them excited about the larger knives. Another thing I'll point out, that once you've gone through, if they already own Cutco, a lot of times you can, if need be, if you're screen sharing or anything like that, it's okay to go to cutco.com, and you can talk about, knives a little differently. You can talk about the kitchen knives, and you can say, let's take a look at some of these specialty knives. And let's say your example, you're looking at the Hearty Slicer. You can click on, look at those beets. Oh man, that looks awesome right there. Okay. Beets are big. They're big to cut. And so you can, show some extra photos of the different knives, and you can enlarge it if you're sharing screens and whatever. If they already own Cutco, they already know Cutco's expensive and they already know the price of Cutco, and that type of thing. Okay. But, it's okay to have a Cutco.com web browser available. Anyway, you go through and you build the like list. So let me finish saying, you want to show the gifts and accessories to people that already own Cutco. And then watch me, guys. You got to go to the Cutco owners tab, and you open that tab up, and you're going to say, Mr. Jones, since you already own Cutco, it doesn't make sense to buy a full set of Cutco. Most customers, however, either upgrade to their favorite set or pick out additional pieces to supplement what they already own. Either way, when you decide, I don't say if, when you decide to add more Cutco to your collection, I'll be able to give you the best deal as possible. The best deal as possible. So we're going to make what's called the wish list. I'm going to start by making your wish list. These aren't necessarily things you're going to buy today, but as your Cutco rep, I'll be able to help you keep track of this for future reference. Basically, Mr. Jones, if Cutco were free, what would you want to add to your set? And then you start making the like list. And so here's a couple of tips to making the like list. Okay. A couple of tips to making the like list is you always want to build up to bigger than they're probably going to buy. I want to build up to $1,000 or a $2,000 like list, maybe a $3,000 like list. We want to throw flatware in the like list. We want to throw cookware. We want to throw gifts for weddings and showers. You want to throw garden tools. They may not even have a garden, but Mrs. Jones, do you have garden tools? Yeah. Well, would you like a set of garden tools that you never have to replace? If I gave it to you for free, would you take it? They're like, yeah, I'd take it if you gave it to me for free. You say, great, let's put that on a like list. So you're going to build a like list. My goal was to always build a like list over 1,000. And this is before, well, prices were lower back then. So in today's dollars, it would be like building up a $2,000 like list. Okay. But you build it up with the intentions. I want to say it this way. You want to build up the like list with the intentions to lower the size of the like list. I know I'm going to lower it. I want to drop down. Now it sounds weird, but the fact is, if I can build it up and then they say, I don't know if I'd really use the garden tools, you say, great, well, let's not worry about buying the garden tools. And when you can be a customer service agent where it's like, you don't have it in your budget to buy everything you want in life, which everybody has that budget. They can't buy everything they want in life. But when you say, hey, if you don't want to buy that, if you feel like that's not in the budget, let's just take that off the like list. It makes you even cooler of a rep. They're like, oh, he didn't just try to get me to buy more Cutco. He got me to buy the right stuff for me when I said I couldn't and wouldn't get everything that's on my like list. So my goal is to build up the like list so that it's way bigger than what I think they're going to buy, because then I have room to drop down. Write that down, room to drop down. And if you build a big like list, by the way, a big like list for certain customers, Parker, this, is $300, $400, and you drop down to a $200 sale, your CPO is $150, and you're like, well, I made something. I got something, right? And you have the low average order week. By the way, $150 at 30%, Parker was making $45 per appointment. On a $150 sale at 30%, that's really good money, in my opinion. $45 for, spending some time on Zoom. My gosh, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And you're mad about it. And everyone's mad about it. I don't like getting a $150 order, but I'll take it, right? But my goal is to get a big fat like list, really big, so that I have room to drop down. Because once I drop down once or twice, remember the purpose of dropping down is to find the right value price combination where the customer feels comfortable. All right. One of the keys to dropping down or to showing the option when you're dropping down with a customer is the 4 numbers. This is how you present the offer. And by the way, this is how they present the offer in car sales. They present the offer when you're looking at buying a sofa at RC Willey. There's always some form of this. I mean, it's on freaking the commercial, the Burger King 2 for $6, Arby's. I bought a 2 for $6 yesterday, right? 2 for $6, whatever the heck it is 2 for $6. And you're like, sweet, man. Normally this would be this much. right? The total value of everything you want on your list is this many dollars. I can get down to this many dollars because I'm giving you XYZ for free, which is a savings of XYZ dollars. And on 5 months, it's only this much per month. And I always say, how does that sound? How does that sound? Right? I always ask that question. I might think there's no way they're going to buy it, Aurora. And I still am going to ask, because I've said this to you guys before. The simple act of asking for the order with intentions to sell, even if you think they're going to say no, Sarah, the simple act of asking, how does that sound, is a display of your conviction. You say, how does that sound? She says, it sounds better. It sounds better. I guess it sounds better. I say, well, great. Would you like to go ahead and get that today? And I expect that they're going to say yes, even if I know, I'm certain people will not say yes. I'm certain that certain people will not say yes. But because I say, would you like to get that? They can tell that I think it's a smart purchase. And Sarah, your customers need to hear that. Alex, your customers need to hear that you think it's a smart purchase. So when you ask them to buy it, Lily is like, would you like to get that today? Even if Lily thinks or knows or thinks she knows that they're not going to get it, you still want to ask because they can tell that you think it's worth it. And then when they say, no, I can't, that's too much. I got room to drop down. I got room to drop down. And then I'll do the same thing, Jacob. I'll take off a few items off the like list. The way to do that, remember, is not to let them, Melise, say, well, I just want to buy this and this. Courtney, I just want to buy this and this. No. The opposite. You say, what would be the 2 items you could live without? Please write that down. What would be the 2 items you could live without? Or what could be the 1 item? What would be the couple of items? What are a couple of things you could live without? Or you might even want to tell them, say, it seems to me like you garden, but not enough compared to how much you eat food every day. And they're like, yeah. I say, yeah, you garden a lot less, don't you? And you say, well, why don't we take off the garden tool set? So you remove it for them because you tell them, I think you'll use this more often. And now you're a customer service agent for sure. Selling is service, service is selling, right, Isabel? Okay. So I'm getting their, like, taking down their like list. And then what do I do here, Joey? Is I present a new value, which you can get down to XYZ dollars, which means you can get down to this, and then you can get down to this. Oh, did Isabel just leave because she had an interview? Where did Isabel go? Did Isabel leave? That's pretty funny. She might have pressed the wrong button. Oh, she has a demo. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, we'll show the video in tomorrow's Champs Club or in the team meeting or something. Okay, but I re-show the value. And then I say the total value be this. I'll remove this for free, which is a savings of this, which would only be this many dollars. And on 5 months, it's only this many dollars. And when you get good and you present these 4 numbers to your customers, again, this is right on your website, but you present the offer with how much the total value is, what's the discount, because what are you giving for free? What's the price after that discount? And then what's the payment after that discount? You're going to actually sell a lot more Cutco with those options. Okay. But it takes a little practice, but here's the deal. You can practice dropping down on a like list. Remember, write this down. You can practice dropping down on a like list when you do a better job of building up the like list. You will be better at selling $200 orders, which are below average, but you still make at 20%, you're still making $40 an hour, right? When you sell a below average $200 sale and you made 20% of that, that's $40 an hour. Most of you are at 20%, right? And so you're still doing great when you present these offers to your customers, be this much off. And then remember, calling your manager matters. Calling your manager for help is huge, right? Help on the deal, help on the sale, help on your calculus homework. I'm just kidding. Okay. So, all right. You guys got that? All right. Should I do it? Do you guys want to see it? Do you guys want to have a little comic relief? let's get some comic relief here. If you can stay on, you won't regret it. Okay. So selling is service. Okay. Look out. Here we go. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to play it for you guys.
Selling.
Okay.
Hey Google, what's
Oh,
this
wait,
song?
hold on. All right, here, I'll show it. Ready? Come on now. Selling is service, people. Ready, set, go. I'll skip this ad and I'll turn on the thing.
Living room.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Living.
Okay. Here we go.
Service.
And service is selling.
Service is selling.
And selling is service.
Just wait, the lyrics are amazing.
I'm selling to the customers to make them feel all right.
I'm buying all these products with oh so much delight.
I can help you find anything you could possibly want.
Such ostentatious goodies that I can flaunt.
Selling is service.
And service is selling.
Service is selling.
And selling is service.
Hello there, Nikki. How you doing today?
I'm in a good mood and it's here to stay.
I've got a customer here that wants an Ulu to buy.
I'll send one right over. I've got plenty in supply.
Yeah.
Hello there, sir. I got some news for you. Your product is coming. It'll be here by 2.
Service is sell. Selling is service.
Selling is service.
Service is selling.
Yes, baby. It's amazing.
My name is Jill, and I don't like to sell. I'm an unhappy person. Everyone can go to heck.
Whoa.
Complain, complain, that's all I like to do. My kids are ratty, the weather is cloudy, and I'm feeling sick too.
Hello there, Jill. They call me Happy Pete. I came to the store to buy myself a treat.
Do whatever you want, I don't really care. Just leave me here moping in the depths of despair.
You look so unhappy that you're making me sad. I won't buy as much, 'cause now I feel bad.
Selling is service.
Service is selling.
Service is selling.
Selling is service.
Oh my gosh, this is glorious. Woo!
How about a scarf? You'll look dashing in jade. If you buy this Usyk, you'll have it made. We've got keychains and mugs and shirts to fit your budget. Buy all your gifts here. Everyone will love it.
I love spending money. It makes me feel so good. Look at all this cute stuff. Who cares if I should?
Selling is service.
And service is selling.
Service is selling.
And selling is service.
Dude, if you're not happy right now, I don't know what you're thinking if you're not happy right now, because that's funny.